Night for Dallas.
Jamie Benn out there at center, and if you were with us last year, you saw an awful lot of that down the stretch. We're going to see it here tonight as the puck is dropped, and once again, we are underway. American Airlines Center in front. Gurionov nearly had one a dozen seconds into the hockey game.
This is a very intriguing line. It gives the Stars incredible depth. If you can bring Jamie Benn essentially out of the three-hole along with Gurionov, who led them in goals 2 years ago, and the newcomer Raffl, who's a wonderful two-way winger.
It's a line we'll look at all night long. The defensive pair to start things out was newcomer Ryan Suter and Klingberg, adding to the intrigue. He's now out at center. It's Juleson. He'll play it across for Nudavara. Game not a minute old as Mason Marchment carries in. His shot blocked by Sekera. Year number 3 in Dallas for Andrej Sekera. It's pushed to the line, and Sarah Noel was offside. The game's first whistle, 57 seconds in.
Well, preseason or regular season or playoffs, you want to start on your toes, and the Stars certainly did. On the forecheck, it's perfect. They set up Gurionov right in the slot. Raffl F1. Benn supports off of that. They feed their man out in front. They had the Panthers spinning. Came very close to making this a one-zip game immediately.
It's Sekera back to play. He'll move it around. Jason Robertson. You'll remember the line last year that did so much of the heavy lifting was Robertson, Hintz, Pavelski. Rope Hintz still recovering from the offseason surgery. He should be ready to go by opening night. He's not game cleared, not game ready just yet. So youngster Wyatt Johnston with the puck, wearing number 53, the first-round pick of Dallas in this summer's draft, is in that spot. Here's Lucas Carlson. He'll sidestep Kiviranta. Hand it for Hutsko, rink wide. And Ryan Shea for Dallas. Signed as a college free agent just over a year ago. Riley Tufte ahead for Kiviranta. Down the left wing, a shot saved by Christopher Gibson. He juggled it for a moment, then gathered enough, and a little bit of temper flare for the first time.
Well, good on Riley Tufte. You know, he opened some eyes a little bit with his performance in Traverse City, and then again in the opener in the preseason on Monday night, scored. And, you know, drive hard to the net, get noticed over and over. He's entering that kind of awkward stage of prospectum, if you will. Not young, but not old and done. You know, you're at that point where you need to show the guys in suits upstairs what you can do at this level. And he's had a wonderful camp so far.
The Benn line back out there. He wins the face-off to Klingberg. Walks it high, slot, and a wrist shot just goes wide right. Klingberg down into the corner. Kierstead applying some pressure. Raffl in there as well. Of the things that Rick Bowness liked about Michael Raffl was the size, the skating ability. Here's a penalty back in the Dallas zone. And it's going to go for elbowing against the Stars captain.
Yeah, Jamie a little over exuberant in the eyes of the stripes down in the corner as he finished Bowlby. Wasn't a lot there, but the hands were, I think Jamie was trying to brace himself on the boards as much as anything else. Bit of a left arm chicken wing into the helmet, and the Stars penalty kill, you know, special teams are going to be a big part of things. The power play was great last year. The penalty killing was not. It needs to be better.
So elbowing the call against Benn. Dallas is shorthanded. Jacob Peterson with the puck. He's out there killing with Tyler Seguin to start. The defensive pair is Sekera and Alex Petrovic, the former Panther. Now it's Raffl and Ty Dellandrea, the forward unit out there. In comes Marchment for the Panthers. They've got an extremely green lineup here tonight. A lot of guys that aren't used to NHL power play time out there. Nudavara, Losterinen, Tippett is shot, and a save made by Ottinger, his first, and he tracked it.
That's one guy who's not shy on a power play.
Lets it go again, does Tippett, former 10th overall pick. Game of catch for Losterinen on the left wing circle. He'll move it low. Marchment back for Losterinen. Saucer to Tippett, double clutched, and he scored. It just trickled through Ottinger and into the net, and the Panthers strike first.
Well, he had the initial chance from that same spot, and he was basically forgotten about by the Stars penalty kill on the near side boards twice. You know, real simplistic stuff. You don't want to give up that pass through the box that they did initially, a little saucer pass to Tippett, and the Stars, the Panthers got away with a mini pick to keep Ty Dellandrea from getting out there and in that shooting lane, and the puck, although Ottinger got 75% of it, the other 25% was fatal.
So the Stars play in an early hole. Here's Wyatt Johnston cutting back to the net and rolled off his backhand. Following up is Klingberg. Tippett had 7 goals in 45 games. First complete NHL season last year. He had a really good showing in the playoffs.
Yeah, there's no question they expect him to take another step this year for them, and they're going to be deep and talented, and expectations in South Florida.
They caught a lot of people by surprise last year in that augmented Central Division. They finished with the 4th best record in the NHL, and they went shopping down the stretch and then into the offseason as well, trying to get even better this time around. Hutsko to the corner, but Petrovic beat him there, leaves it for Alexander Radulov. And Petrovic, the defenseman, will catch up at center, but he overskated. Peterson follows, he's in. Peterson, across, shot! And Sagan put it high and wide.
What a great setup. The book on Peterson is he's really smart on both sides of the puck. Thinks the game defensively, can obviously set people up.
He's got it now, and his shot deflects up off the netting and out of play. It's a good shift for the youngster.
What a chance for 91. Wow. They tried to stand up at their own blue line, thought they had help, and you know, a little smart play, heavy on the puck from Peterson, and Sagan trying to go cookie jar over top of Gibson. Got too much air underneath of it. Had Peterson ducking on his way in behind the net.
Talk about preseason and what it means for teams, what it means for individuals. For guys coming off injuries like that, surgeries, how important are these games before you get going for what should be an 82-game campaign?
Yeah, more important as the preseason moves along. You know, Tyler came back and played a couple of games last year. I was stunned. I think it stunned him how good he was and how strong he felt and the timing that he had, just jumping midstream like that. It was impressive. But there's no doubt. I mean, whether you're especially a veteran player, you know, this is about timing and game timing and back into regular routine in that again.
You were talking about it pregame, the list of guys that are coming back from stuff like that can use these games. It's a 7-game exhibition schedule. It started Monday, and then it goes every other night through October 9th.
If any team's ready to play every other night, it should be the Dallas Stars.
That's a cakewalk when you carry it against last year. Marchment will track at center. He gets angled off by Klingberg, shoulder to shoulder. That battle continues all the way down, and then kicked by Klingberg. Losterine and Guryanov had his stick in the right lane.
That's the 3rd really diligent defensive play that Denis Guryanov's made in the game, and he had that first chance for the Stars offensively. So a good peppy start for Guryanov on that wing with Ben.
Petrovic finds Johnston. He'll spring it ahead for Joe Pavelski. Paced the Stars in scoring last year. Pavelski a shot. Turned aside by Gibson. Robertson to Shea. The plan is the same for defensemen to be active here with the Stars, regardless of who they are, and there's a penalty upcoming. And this time it is going to go against Florida. So the Stars power play will have a chance to answer when we come back. They'll need to answer the power play goal from Owen Tippett, the only one so far through 6.5.
Trying to answer the Florida Panthers power play goal here now as they go up a man for the first time in the game. With health comes a desire to have 2 units that can get it done, and with Radulov and Sagan back in the fold, there's no pause for penalty kills on the other side anymore.
Radulov, Sagan, Guryanov, Klingberg, and Peterson. Here is Radulov to the right side. It's Denis Guryanov. Got it to Peterson. Up high, Klingberg. The lone defenseman on this unit. Seguin to Klingberg, and then right back to Tyler Seguin. Shot, stick save, Gibson. Stars have been working a lot on their power play units. No Rope Hintz in this game, no Miro Heiskanen. The other 8 guys that are on the 2 units are in the lineup tonight. Tyler Seguin gets shoved down by Lamico, who had lost his lumber earlier in the shift. Work with what you got. Gurionov to Radulov. Dallas back in. 55 seconds into the power play. 1-0 Panthers. Radulov right circle, a shot and a save by Gibson. In tight wrister from Peterson.
Peterson's been noticeable. A lot of guys would be deferring this way and deferring that way as a young player in a game like this, and there's been none of that from him so far.
Robertson carried a stick with him on his hip as he took it from Losterinen. Suter to Begg. Different unit is out there. As Razor said, you can't call either one the first or the second unit. They both are lethal. Robertson, a shot off the outside of the post. Then back to Suter. Just did get past the diving marksman. Right side, one-timer Robertson. Karam to the corner. Wyatt Johnston to Suter. And then Robertson. Pavelski is the net front guy. He had 13 power play goals, tied for second in the NHL during last year's regular season.
How about the start they had at the beginning of last year? Man, every power play was a goal on the board in this building in the early going. Not on this one, though. Closest they came was Robertson off the pipe.
Dallas is 0 for 1 on the power play. And I was scouring that early season looking for Nashville to come twice to American Airlines Center. Chance for Harley turned aside by Gibson.
Boy, they've hit the Panther blue line with a lot of speed here in the first 9 minutes. Another example there of exactly what Bonus likes. Defenseman joining the rush. Intelligent play by Delandry to use that speed. Feed Harley, and they come close.
Thomas Harley can skate. Wearing number 55. Just turned 20. Last month, he was the 18th overall pick for Dallas back in 2019. As it's out of play.
A couple of good chances by the young guns for the Stars on the power play. Robertson, slick play by Suter to get it to him, and then that left shot, right wing side, good look at the far side, and he had Gibson beat, although Gibson would tell you all I gave you was the pipe. Ka-ting. Delandry takes the line, absorbs the check, knows he has the defenseman coming with a gust and a perfect setup, but nothing to show.
Seguin unit is out there with Radulov. Told you about the 3 games that Tyler Seguin played, and then Radulov missed all that time, limited to just 11 last year. This is the first game that both of them are in the lineup since the bubble up in Edmonton. They did not share the ice a single time during the 56-game regular season last year. Prisky, nice move around Radulov, and then a wrister just misfired. Ankle breaker. Outlet feed to Radulov. He couldn't drag it with him. And pressure by Petrovic forced it to center. While the Panthers touch up, a little bit of space for the Stars. Shots favor Dallas. The only goal, though, belongs to Florida. Came on a power play, 3 minutes, 21 seconds in from Owen Tippett. Both teams have had one power play opportunity early in the game. Kanan in front. And now Lomberg gains center, chips, chases after it. Klingberg got there first. And up ahead, Michael Raffl leaves for Ben. Wrister from 55 feet out, no problem for the blocker of Gibson. Grigory Denisenko could not corral through neutral. Stars catch a breath.
Well, no surprise that the Panthers have come in here with this prospect-laden lineup and played an excellent team game, just as the Stars did on Monday night against a heavy lineup of the St. Louis Blues. That's what you get in the preseason.
It is complete role reversal from the lineups we saw. And Rick Bowness said eventually you started to see the veterans sort of take control as time went on. You'd like to see that here for Dallas as well. Johnson pursuing the netminder Gibson. Will bank it to Noah Juleson. Now Schwint turned over at center and delivered back by Sekera. Juleson off for Nudabara. Ahead for Tippett. Pressured immediately by Tufte. Tippett's got it back. And off of Marchment. Kiviranta. Through the center logo. He's got company as he crossed the blue line. Prisky, an area flip. Now Lostarinen darts down the wing. Backhand, and he shoveled it wide. Held in a shot pad save. Ottinger. Kiviranta tried to chip. He had Tufte off to the races, but he couldn't get it past the stick.
Pretty good save by Ottinger. Noel was free in front of the net, created that screen.
Prisky at the right point, shot blocked, still got low to Noel.
Saren Noel, that's a pretty good handle too. Big power forward. Icing here against the Stars, so those boys are going to have to stay out there. Mentioning that, no shock that it's an excellent team game from this Panther team. Joel Quenneville in behind their bench. He's very quickly created a great culture in South Florida. Belief, expectation, standards. First back-to-back playoff burst for the Panthers in a quarter century, and they feel like they can go up from there.
They are back in their familiar Atlantic division. Delandria will lift it in off the glove of Kierstead. A lot to be excited about with both of these teams. Is intercepted by Sagan. Peterson is racing to the net. Saved by Gibson, and it bounced waist high.
Let's go a little loose with that puck in neutral ice. And second chance.
Here's Dalpe with a shot. And squeezing and hanging on. Ottinger doesn't allow a rebound. A second over 7 minutes left in the first period. It's 1-0 Florida as hockey is back in Dallas.
Florida, and some spilt milk from the kiddies in neutral ice. Sagan goes downhill. I think Radulov wanted that puck. Wise decision. He had Peterson breaking to the pipe. And then the Panthers get their chance right back again. Giveaway, Dalpe, toe drag, tester for the 5-hole of Ottinger. And he was tidy in the tweeners. Got a hot new mask going too.
He said he was just going to see if it sticks. With the Otters painted on it. Looking for something new. Radulov leaves it. And Sagan chips. Lomberg couldn't control. Follow up Denisenko. Got it right back to him in the corner. Absorbed contact from Sagan, and now Radulov.
Red line, red line, red line.
Across the red line, and then they'll dump it in.
He wanted to change. They were like, just get the red line, we'll peel off.
Denisenko pulls around Jamie Benn, and then turned over to Harley. Put it back center ice. Sent in by Lamico.
A little hot potato hockey here. Not a surprise. It gets scrambly in the preseason, especially early in the preseason when you have a lot of individuals that haven't played much hockey with one another, and then go up to game tempo.
In on Ottinger, and he'll keep it moving with the stick, but he was pressured by Heponiemi. And Carlson faked a shot over to Prisky. Walked it down the right side. He's had a couple of nice moves off the right point.
He shakes those shoulders and shakes Stars checking.
He's a Florida native in the Panthers organization. The last 2 years he's been in the AHL. They grab it just inside his blue line. Long stretch for Heponiemi. Here's Johnston the other way. Leaves it for Shea. Shot, save, Gibson. No rebound. 5:18 left in the first. Still 1-0 Panthers from American Airlines Center.
The Stars fans, you're invited to the first ever Texas Hockey Open House this Saturday, October 2nd, right here at American Airlines Center.
the Stars a bunch of first-round picks in the lineup for the Stars here tonight, including Riley Tufte, Wyatt Johnston, who just signed yesterday. He's a richer man today. Thomas Harley, Ty Dellandrea, Jake Ottinger, one of 2 first-round picks from 2017. Runs all the way back to Gurionov. That's the great thing about, especially early preseason, you get a look at these kids, their names on a board. You see whatever, highlights you can ferret out from college or from junior hockey. Then you get to see them at the NHL level. It's a big deal for them too. Get in this uniform, play in this building.
8 first-round picks the last 7 years. The 2 that aren't in, Maverick Bork, who had a helper on Monday night and looked very good. He was the 2020 pick. And then Miro Heiskanen. Got a feeling he might make the opening night roster, even though he's not in this line. Noel drops it off in front, and Marchment will follow it up. He gets shoved down by Petrovic. Ryan Shea took his time calmly around for Pavelski. Here comes Robertson. Over to Johnston. Has some space into the circle, and a shot saved by Gibson. Starting to rack him up into double digits in the final 5 minutes of the first period. He stopped everything Dallas has sent his way. Ryan Suter. Up high to Tufte. Over to Klingberg, took it in the skates, back for Tufte, and swiped out to center ice.
I've been impressed by that Noel here in the first period. Good power move at the other end to start the shift, and then broke up that play there.
They've got some high draft picks on their side as well. He was a 2nd-round pick in this building back in 2018.
Well, right from that face-off, the Stars able to generate a great chance with Robertson, the tail gunner, in behind Pavelski, and then Jason Robertson took the blue line, went right through Kevin Connaughton. They're going to call cross-checking a little more, they say, this season. It's a little bit like in football where the guy with the ball lowers his head. Who's targeting whom? And Robertson said, I'm going to take the line. I can go around here, I'll go through you. Decided to go through him.
That's going to be interesting the way they get called, because anytime they don't really change a rule, they just talk about a stronger enforcement of a rule. Sometimes you see it tilt so heavy in preseason, and then the first month or 2 of the season, then the players figure it out, the officials figure it out. It's always one of those things to keep an eye on.
There hasn't been much of a chance of it in this opening period because it's basically been a skating period. There hasn't been much of a cycle game.
Peterson will have to extend, grab it behind the net. He's got help in front, but couldn't thread one through to Sagan. Lomberg battling with Sekera, pops free, Nudavara and Prisky. Off of Lomberg, Ottinger drifts to the edge of the trapezoid, takes 2 swipes, but gets it. And here's Gurionov, turns on the Jets. Gurionov tried to take on Denisenko, and then a follow-up by Ben. Sent it wide.
A lot of speed hitting the blue stripe again. And they've been flying through neutral ice at times.
Trying to get on the board late stages of the first. Gurionov got jammed on the feed from Raffl. Here's Lomberg. He's got a cutter fed there, and it went right off the stick of Lammikko. You have seen players get free, cut to the net. Sometimes the connection just hasn't quite been there. Kierstead. Dumped in by Connaughton off the stick of Ottinger. On it is Shea. Is on the wrong side of Pavelski, and the 200-foot pass becomes an ice.
Take the icing over right on tip and stick in the high slot. Great shift by Gurionov again. Full gallop through neutral ice, takes the blue line, pushes people back. Yes, he loses the puck, but Ben in proximity follows it up, gets a couple of chances. And then as they go in transition the other way, there's Gurionov to hustle back, foul up the pass in neutral ice. You can eat up a lot of ice in a hurry. The second part of that's going to be the big thing for his growth. Defensive play without the puck.
Connaughton with a shot saved by Ottinger. He eats it up. 2:05 left in the first period.
You know, watching Jake Ottinger handle the puck here a little bit in the first period, that's probably his next step too, to just be a little more assertive. with the puck outside the crease. That one came around the boards. You kind of let it play him a little bit. Everything else seems to be rather tidy with the kid. He's going to be a great one.
He played the third period in overtime on Monday. As you mentioned, he's going to get the entire game here. He was chatting earlier this week about how excited he was at the prospect of a full, regular, go to every city, experience it all NHL season. He's part of that clogged carousel in the Dallas net that will sort itself out.
There's a question mark with every guy, essentially, you know?
They've got 7 preseason games, 2 weeks and a day to figure it out. That was a bit of an adventure.
This puck was spinning a little bit. I'll bail him out on that one.
Suter to Tufte and a shot. Gibson continues what he's done all period and eats it up.
These lanky guys, these ice gazelles that can really fly up the ice have been noticeable for the Stars in the first period. Tufte, Gurianov, Tyler skated well. Peterson's flown around a little bit. Jamie seems to be skating extremely well. You saw Harley jump up there. That speed game is a big part of it. Now I can hear Stars fans right now, though. 15 shots for the Stars in the first period. They had 1 power play, didn't get much done. Nothing to do 5-on-5. They understand they have to improve in that statistical category.
Klingberg and Marchment have come together a couple times here in this first period. That was the latest. And Radulov will chip it. Slowly moves around the end wall. Nudabara and the reach by Suter holds it in. Good extension by Noel. Got it to center. Final minute of play. First period. 1-0 Panthers. Stars in search of a buzzer beater equalizer. Noel flipped it off Sagan. Follows up. Knifing for the puck, and then Sagan filled him in. Knocked down the 6'5" Sarah Noel. Dalpe off Peterson, poke to center. Prisky gives a glance. And over to Hutsko in deep. Klingberg for Ben. He uses the larger frame to protect against Hutsko, and then he ran himself into Bolby. Loose puck, Klingberg. The outlet feed was in the skates of Ben. Captain couldn't corral. And then it's iced by Florida, and that's going to give the Stars a look with 5.5 seconds left in the first.
Got to leave your goalie in for that.
It's about double the amount of time to pull it.
Yeah, but you can try to run something off of this. The players themselves will talk things over a little bit, usually on what they want to do. Jamie's usually great on this dot. You need possession. Captain obvious.
It's Harley who's back at the point. The faceoff goes straight left. Raffle to Harley and a shot. They got the redirection. Gurianov. And Gibson punctuates the frame with one more. They got their look.
They did. Gibson was very good in goal for them in the opening period. The only one that got past Ottinger was the power play goal when Ben was in the box. There was a bit of slop and unvarnished offensive opportunity.
Panthers lead the Stars as we get set for the start of the second period here in Dallas. Hey fans, your kids can learn to play hockey by participating in our Dallas Stars Rookies program presented by Lexus. We have sessions for kids ages 4 through 14 at Children's Health Star Centers around DFW. All equipment is provided. No experience is necessary for this free 5-week program. You can learn more by visiting DallasStars.com/rookies. Welcome back as we get set for action once again. Razor, 1 goal in the game belongs to the Panthers, but the majority of shots, the majority of chances belong to the Stars.
Well, they created pretty much buzzer to buzzer consistently in that opening period, but have squat to show for it. Opening shift, Ben, Raffle, and Gurianov combined for a tester in tight. It continued on. They had a power play opportunity, a couple of chances off of that. Closest they came was Robertson clanking one off the pipe. They hit the blue line with a lot of speed in the first period, and a lot of their opportunities came from that. Neutral ice to the net front at the buzzer. They win a draw. Another tester. Couldn't find air in around Christopher Gibson, who was fantastic in that opening period. And a main reason why they're up 1-0 heading to the second.
Second period will begin with the Ben line out there. They started and got that first chance. Seconds into that opening frame. See what they can do in the middle one as they switch directions. Gurianov plays it around for Raffl, and then Losterinen. Ben to the corner, and he'll come away with the puck. Gurianov sent it off the outside of the cage. Kierstead. Losterinen didn't clear. Marchment will grab. Mason Marchment is being credited with that goal. It was Owen Tippett who double clutched and then took the shot on the power play, grazed off Marchment, and maybe part of the foul up on Ottinger that just trickled through it. That's the only tally so far, opening minute of the second. Radulov up for Seguin, and to the Panther line, Juleson had Peterson right on him, rode him to the perimeter. Radulov in front, it was loose. Seguin's got it, a backhand, and put it just wide.
And Gibson pretty much give it to him. Tyler's had 2 quality chances to score.
Icing against the Panthers.
Calm the hands down a little bit, perhaps. Good hustle in the corner to come up with it. Nice support by Radulov, and then, yeah, a mess. Gibson would have been wise to just smother it, instead repurpose. This is the pill right to Tyler Seguin, who couldn't find Twine.
After the icing, Johnston in between Pavelski and Robertson. Dallas control. Shea's shot was blocked to the corner. Chance to clear, and Nudevar does. This will be another icing. In between periods, Michelle McMahon caught up with the Stars coaching staff. Michelle?
Yeah, Todd Nelson tells me that in that intermission, the main discussion in the O-zone was to feed the forecheck, to maintain their presence in the O-zone. And in the D-zone, he said he wants them to end plays quicker, to utilize the weak side of the ice more. I also just spoke to Braden Holtby. I said, any words of wisdom for Jake Ottinger? He said, nah, he knows what he's doing, guys.
Here comes Robertson. They'll play it across. And Johnston, as it's taken away. We were talking about that goaltending, the crowded crease, a sharp angle shot on Ottinger. So far, whatever the connections have been, they all getting along. It's a lot of different personalities. Some likable guys down there. Jake's certainly one of those. Braden Holtby has fit in here in his first couple weeks in Dallas.
He has, and so have the Tortoises apparently. So
they made it.
That was a big story.
They're safe. All concern averted. Johnston got one through it. Had to pass a couple of players en route. Klingberg over to Suter. Just that pair back on defense. First look at it for Rick Bowness. Klingberg finds Suter. He'll wind. Crank one. Saved by Gibson. The beat goes on for him.
Well, it's the cycle game that we didn't see much of in the opening period, and it's one thing that the Stars, especially when they're on their game, seem to get to in second periods a lot, where they hem the other team in. They can't change. Their bench is a long way away. The Stars change on offense, and the business end of all that was a tester from Suter. So much of the game now, and you can hear from the coaching staff that Michelle said,
here's a break in and a shot saved, and then it trickled in. It was deja vu from the first, where Ottinger gets the majority of it, and the momentum was able to push it home, and the Panthers double their lead.
Speedy little Hutsko, I think, was the guy who scrambled in there and was able to rip that one through Ottinger off of a face-off winish. They say win the loss. They certainly did. The Stars got wide with their D and opened up a little bit of space on the way in. Nice feed by Dalpe. Ottinger thought he had it. You could tell from the body language on him. Puck's up on end, tough to read for the netminder. He lurches toward it. It ate him up. It's 2-0 Panthers. I was going to say, though, that coaches talk so much now about ending plays in their defensive zone or extending plays in the offensive zone. And that's what the Stars would like to get to here as this game moves along. Spend a lot of time in the attacking zone, kill things immediately in their own zone. They've been kind of one and done with their opportunities.
It's been a lot of ones. It's up, flirting with 20 shots on goal, and then the ones that missed the net, but they'd like to continue a little bit more. As Marchment walks it, and hand pass will whistle it down.
Hard to believe, isn't it? A month from now, a month from today, Rick Bowness will have been the Stars' head coach for 1 calendar year. What a messed up sequence of time this has been. How bizarre is that? Seems like he's been here like for a half a dozen years and behind the bench as the head man. Of course, he was the interim head coach prior to being the head guy, and he was assistant or associate prior to that.
That's incredible. As Andre Higgs on here, the fact that at this point last year the Stanley Cup final was going on here in training camp, everyone's talking about years and trying to make sense of when we are, where we are.
The 69-game season, the 56-game season, everyone hopeful for an 82-game season this year. It's incredible they even got 56 in last year when you think about what the individuals, everybody involved had to go through to get that done, and then the playoffs.
This one is built with a much more traditional October start, late April finish. 3-week Olympic break is penciled in there as well. Return to normalcy that folks in Dallas are very excited about. In walk the Stars, but it is offside. Exactly 4 minutes gone by in the second.
Petrovic and Marchment at one another in behind things. They got entangled coming out of the Stars zone. You can see from this vantage point the way the Stars have gone about their business. And for a lot of these guys, it's their first hockey game against an opponent, not their own teammates in scrimmages and practices, in a long, long time. And for a guy like Tyler Seguin, even Alexander Radulov, we talked about it off the hop tonight. Kiviranta missed a lot of time. It's been a long time since they got into the competitive nature of an NHL preseason game even. You can see some of that.
Got some work to do, down 2-0. Early stage of second period. In front, Denisenko couldn't get the shot away.
Good coverage.
Robertson took the pass. He was skating him backwards, has his stick tied up inadvertently from Brisky and wound up breaking Brisky inadvertently as well, trying to pry it back up.
This is where they'd like to get him pinned and get the puck. They do.
And out to Klingberg, but the pass forced him between the blue lines, just a tad out of his reach. So Klingberg will toss into drive. Flip to Robertson. Taken away by Lucas Carlson.
Tough though, you D separated from your forwards, everybody standing still at the attack blue line. They don't want that. They want to move as a group of 5.
Johnston, he's in. Nice move down the left wing side. Brisky's his shadow, and it's turned over. Carlson, former Chicago Blackhawk, swing and a miss, and the Stars in. Johnston has a man, fed to Robertson, he shoots, and it's saved by Gibson.
On fumes.
Number 20 on the night for Christopher Gibson on as many Star shots.
What a bright play by Wyatt Johnston.
Turn around, Kiviranta, loose puck, and it's put just outside of the frame from 10 feet out. Get the feeling like it's only a matter of time. One of these eludes Gibson and winds up behind him, but it hasn't happened so far. Miscommunication, Zakara in the Star zone, creates a turnover. Hutsko, the latest goal scorer, will tap it in while the Panthers are changed.
Yeah, there have been some junk pucks in and around the net front on the Florida Panthers that the Stars have thus far been incapable of jamming home. A little more thirst in there, perhaps.
Hutsko gets it, waist high, past Dalpe, Connaughton with a shot, through and wide. And on the counterattack, it's Raffle, feeds Band, pawed it to himself, cut to the inside, and his former teammate Connaughton got him. Just knocked it right off his stick. Now Gurianov a chance. Blocked in front. Bolby with speed as he carries the other way. In the skates of Petrovic to the side wall, cannot. And he brought it all the way back out to center. Didn't mean to, and that's offside, Florida. 13:20 left in the second. Panthers tack on an early goal here in the middle frame, make it 2-0.
Damaged in the preseason. He's got a cut on his lip. He's had a couple of cutting chances in the game. Wise play by the youngster Wyatt Johnson to feed him. He got hacked on the hands that time on his way in. What a great drop pass. And they usually call that, especially when it's on the gloves like that. Didn't. And then off the forecheck, Kiviranta, the little ball of hustle, gets in there. They jam one underneath Gibson, but it can't find the net again. I'd like to know what the chances in the game are right now. We've heard and seen this movie before.
Here's Radulov, takes it away, and in front. Chance by Peterson, back to him. Gibson down and out. Radulov scores. The third chance, and Alexander Radulov reintroduces himself to this Dallas crowd and the scoreboard.
That was finished upstairs, but it was because of their heavy forecheck. Tyler Seguin, the first guy in, he was physical in the first period. Good puck hustle in front of the net, and the guy on the business end of all of it, Radulov, cleans things out, ran right through the goal mouth to clear out some space, and then those hands ripped it upstairs. The passion is back. The Stars are on the board.
Say the man only has one gear. It doesn't matter if it's exhibition or not. When you need a spark, Radulov usually is #1 and who you turn to. How many times have we seen that entering year 5 here in Dallas? So he's got the Stars on the board. It's a 2-1 Panthers lead. Denisenko and Lamico, he's run into by Petrovic and muscled off by Petrovic.
It was back-to-back harder hockey at the net front on the Panthers, though, and Kiviranta's just seconds ago, and then all three guys on the Seguin line in on that one. Finally gets him on the board.
We're talking about the setup from Johnston to Spring, Robertson, and then Peterson was at the center of that one.
He is good tonight.
It's a veteran-laden group, especially up front, but those two young forwards have been extremely noticeable.
That's what they want to see from young guys in the preseason. Show me what you can do was the refrain this morning, especially at this level. And with these guys, not so much against those guys, with these guys, with your NHL players.
Here up high, Tufte was primed for the one-timer, and mostly fans set up from Klingberg.
Backed up John Klingberg, who was down deep in the zone, and Klingberg set his table. He was wide open.
Kierstead, long change in the second period while the Panthers finish it. He took his time. Fed Hutsko. And then Bolby, one hand to himself, following up Hutsko. He's got one, he's looking for more. In front, and a chance right on the doorstep. Zach Dalby, and Ottinger deep in his crease, held his ground.
And it is tough on defensemen in today's game. Immediately when you get the puck in behind your own blue line, somebody's on you. There were multiple guys on Klingberg. There's probably a simpler play to just play it to a flank and get it out of there. Instead, it was Jake Ottinger to the rescue on a pretty sweet feed from down deep. You don't want to just pass your problem along, but sometimes you got to get it out of the most dangerous area of the ice as quick as you can and get some help there. They were late in his shift, I think, too.
Dalby wins the faceoff cleanly. A shot flipped off the stick, finds the high glass, stays in play. Bolby to Dalby. Third man on that line is Hutsko behind the net. Now Bolby is hit by Ben. Pops free. Trying to weave through traffic. Dalby spun around on the check from Sekera.
Good shift by this fourth line for them.
As it shot up and out of play off the netting.
Got on their forecheck a little bit. They should trot out 3 good lines. They've got a real mobile defense core in Florida. They'll get Aaron Ekblad back to full 100%. He broke his ankle in this building. It was an ugly, ugly injury. Really hurt them heading into their opening round face-off in the playoffs with Tampa Bay. Best hockey game I've seen in maybe decades was the start of that series.
6 games, and Florida probably feels and felt the entire summer if they could have just got a little bit better in net for some of those games, it would have been a much different outcome. They had home ice against the Lightning. The Lightning just outlasted them in a slugfest.
It's funny how many times the Lightning got the better of the goaltending matchup against teams last year.
It usually happens when you got a guy like 88 back in there. Here is Peterson. Little stutter step, buys himself time, wrap around, and fed one to the slot. Denisenko to the side, but didn't clear.
Lots to like in number 40 in green.
Johnston. He's extending the shift, but a pass forces the Stars out. Panthers can get 2 skaters off, some fresh legs out there. Stars back in, Klingberg to Robertson. And pinballs up to Suter. Klingberg across, one-timer. Gibson tracked it on the chance from Pavelski, and he makes the save and hangs on. We are halfway through in Dallas, and the Stars are on the board, courtesy of Alexander Radulov.
Was able to titillate the home crowd. He's done that throughout the game here tonight. He's had multiple chances, skated well, created. He's been physical, hard on the puck. Little backhand chance earlier this period. F1 on the forecheck on the Radulov goal that has cut the Panthers lead in half.
Robertson hustled back to break up a Panthers chance.
That was the thing that impressed me about Tyler coming in and playing those 3 games last year, coming out of hip surgery and knee surgery, that he was so engaged immediately. A lot of guys tiptoe back into the lineup, don't fully trust the surgically repaired whatever, and he just leapt in and looked great.
It was part of the time that he came back too. He was trying to give him that shove over the line as a penalty here, and we go down to Michelle McMahon.
Yeah, just to pay off Razor's point, Seguin and Radulov playing together for the first time in a while. Seguin anticipated a little bit of lag time for their chemistry to pick up. Oh no, he said 1 practice, we were back at it. He said, we're just a couple of guys excited to be out there healthy and to be playing hockey together, guys.
Great players love to play with great players. That's as old as this league. And the great ones are out there for the Stars right now as they go on the power play for the 2nd time tonight.
It is Seguin again with Radulov, Guryanov, Peterson, and Klingberg join him. Shot by Klingberg just wide. 2nd power play of the game for the Stars. They're 0 for 1. Panthers have one of their 2 goals on the man advantage. Here's Juleson. And Losterinen got hit, but not before he cleared it.
Alexander Radulov buried him.
Marchment doing work all by his lonesome on the PK. 3 Stars there to eventually pry it free, and they'll look to turn up ice. Over a half minute gone by in this power play. Bjurstedt in the box for Florida. On the near side, it's taken away and cleared.
Unit change.
Under pressure, and this time successfully plays keep away. Johnston takes the pass. Klingberg, the holdover from the other unit, will make his way to the bench as the Stars get the puck deep. Pavelski Shoulder to shoulder with Carlson. It pops loose. Suter sent across Robertson. In front. Shot redirected by Johnston. Just fluttered up over the crossbar. Good redirection in the low slot from the kid.
Smart. Knew exactly where to go. Made himself available.
He is 18 years old. Birth date of May of 2003. Shot stop. Rebound. Score! Robertson. Power play goal, Dallas, and they've tied the game.
First key is to make sure that shot from the point makes its way into the knot of humanity in front. Suter's got that great wrist shot, gets there in a hurry, and then Connaughton just could not tie up Jason Robertson. Off the shot, where to go. Usually a defenseman nowadays will try to front the shot and essentially play goal. It got past him, goes off Robertson, drops. He's got great patience in those critical areas in front of the net. Gets it to the backhand, dumps it in. Wincing from pain as he takes another shot.
He had the cut lip, and that puck hit him, and it looked like it hurt him. He still was able to follow the play, but if that puck hits you where it hit Robertson, it's going to sting for more than a couple seconds.
Change your voice.
Try and drop a few bass tones down before he gets back out there, and he can rest on the game-tying goal in the meantime.
He's just such a creator.
Puck deflected off something on the bench, and it's going to come back down to the Star zone.
One of the things that always impresses me about Jason Robertson is that he's so connected. Like, he's a lanky guy, but he has full control of his feet and his hands and the dexterity, especially in traffic, to either make plays or score goals. I asked him about, you're not going to be a secret anymore. You know, teams are going to now game plan for you. You're no secret. He says, yeah, but I'm just one guy of three on that line. And he's right. Sure. Try to shut down him. All you have to worry about is Rope Hintz and Joe Pavelski. And then two other scoring lines.
I like the way they're spread out right now. There is Nudivara, got it ahead to center, Lomberg. Heavy collision, Lomberg and Petrovic. Petrovic's been at the center of it. Here comes Ben, he walks in, he scores! Jamie Benn picked his spot. And the Stars have struck 3 straight times here in the second to take the lead.
This is a rather inviting 5-hole from Christopher Gibson for Jamie Benn to send it home. Stiff check from Petrovic on Lomberg at his own line. Turns it back against the grain. Acres of ice for Jamie to waft in. It looked as though Gibson was anticipating perhaps something to the blocker side. Opened himself up a little bit. And Jamie went tweeners. They taking a peek at this?
Looks like it might be a timeout for Quenville. It doesn't look like anybody's got the headset on. Wondering if Joel Quenville's trying to settle things down.
Yeah, timeout. So Jamie, who took a penalty early in the game, and the Florida Panthers able to score on that one. He and his line mates have looked good throughout the game here tonight, along with Raffel in his Stars debut and Gurionov. So yeah, the Stars kind of hit their stride a little bit offensively in the second period and hit the net, the back of the net.
Well, if you've missed Stars hockey, you've missed those second period outbursts. It's been a while. 3 goals in just over 7 minutes. The last 2 come $1.19 apart. And they're looking for more. Sagan a chance, kicked out by Gibson.
Been a bit of a ramping up of the tenacity on the puck in the attacking zone for the Stars.
Suter to Radulov, back for Klingberg, and up ahead. Here's Peterson, he'll leave for Sagan. Let's Kierstad come to him, fed the slot. Dalpe was there, and then Seguin gloved. Pretty hard puck, keeping the zone.
They're out changing them now a lot too.
Harley. Here's Robertson off the bench to the inside. Save, rebound is loose, top of the crease, and the Stars couldn't get it.
Poor Wyatt Johnston just couldn't get his stick in and around the legs of Connaughton on the ice. Otherwise, it's a 4-2 hockey game.
Talked about the fact that on Monday night in St. Louis, Rick Bowness said, even though the Stars played with the lead, even though they led 1-0 late into the second, as time went on, it was just too much. He watched a veteran lineup take control of the game, and that's what the Stars are doing here. You talk about outchanging them, outchancing them once again, and now they're making those chances count. Nudavara behind the net, Harley. Panthers with some rare ozone time. Noel to Marchment. Noel will get it back on the left wing side. He's chased by Robertson, pulls away, a shot. Save made by Ottinger. He hangs on. At one point it was 2-0 Panthers. Then Radulov got Dallas on the board. Robertson on a power play, tied it. Jamie Benn, 5-hole, has the Stars on top.
Period, Stars have flipped the score in their advantage. Good example of the Stars out-changing the opposition in second periods. Offensive opportunity, two fresh guys jump on. That lanky puck patience of Robertson gets it to the net. Good save by Gibson. Stars hustle after it, and a nice defensive play by Connaughton. Drop, spread out, make sure nobody in green can get to it.
It's been 7 years now, just about, since Kevin Connaughton left the Stars via waivers. You've seen a tour of the NHL since then.
That bomb of a shot turned into a real good depth defenseman to have in your organization.
Home in Florida now. Saw limited action last year with the shortened season. The way so many teams is it went upstairs and yikes, caught Carlson. He's very slow to get off. Now Tufte didn't clear. Lomberg. And then back out to center. I was saying, you look at the rosters from last year, it's going to take a while to sort of tilt back. Teams used 35 different guys, and the games played were just askew from anything we've ever seen before. There was essentially not much of an American Hockey League, not one similar to what we know. This is going to be a lot more familiar. The junior ranks, everyone just getting back to a full season. Organizations will recalibrate. Bank pass, got Gurianov. See that from time to time. Toss it off the corner, a timing play with speedy players, and Gurianov certainly fits that category. There is Seguin, double clutched, and then a low shot deflected. Raffle turned, and Lamico intercepted and cleared.
Well, further to that, think of a kid like Wyatt Johnston. He only played a handful of games last year because the OHL didn't play.
Radulov holds up, feeds it to Harley. He was part of that OHL group, along with Cole Schwint. Radulov back up to Harley. Sekera in deep, and Seguin tried to feed Peterson.
They have just worn out the Panthers here in the second.
Panthers clutching and holding. Just trying to get to the bell. $1:36 left in the second.
And they're down a D-man right now. Is innocent looking play in neutral ice, and I'm not sure exactly what happened to Carlson as he came across. He got himself crossed up with his legs, and a soft tissue issue, I would think.
Petrovic stick snapped in half as he tried to let it go. Now Heponiemi. Petrovic gets it back, one-handed up. Ottinger with the save, he hangs on. Pavelski's stick that Petrovic had been using.
Well, they look like they want to look, I think, here in the second period more so. And it's a wonderful quality for a club to be able to take over middle frames. The best teams do it, and they boost their goal differential because of it. And a lot of it has to do with your transition game and your puck play. And if you have guys that can't make plays coming out of their own zone in second periods, you're going to spend a lot of time in your own zone in second periods, and that's bad. Because the other team's going to have fresh players on the ice, and they're going downhill against you for 20 minutes.
Stars back in the offensive zone. Wall battle. Robertson, it pops free. Shea will get it. Dallas touches up. We're in the final minute of the second period. Panthers scored first in this frame. At the time, made it 2-0. Stars have since very much changed the storyline. Connaughton off of Hutsko. It was his goal here in the middle period that feels like an awfully long time ago.
And it feels like it should be about 5-2 on the scoreboard. It's just a one-shot hockey game. Despite the fact the Stars have outshot them 30-15 and spent most of the second period in their zone.
Back in the Dallas end, it's turned over. Marchment tried to take the feed from Tippett. He stays with it. And out for Prisky, 10 to go in the period. Right side, Nudavara. They'll rim it around. There is no one home. Only 4 seconds left. Marchment in front. The Stars take care of that, and they will skate off after 2 periods in front.
A rare little cycle sequence for the Panthers at the tail end of the period, but the Stars found the mark a little bit in that second period. I mean, they had chances to score in the first 2, finally got a few past the kid in goal, Gibson, and
sign up and start getting yours at dallasstars.com/insider. And welcome back with 20 minutes to go in this one. Stars with the lineup they were dressing, they were hoping they would see something similar to what we saw in that middle frame.
Form comes and goes, pedigree remains, right? They're down 2-0 in the game, and then the big boys got it going offensively. On the forecheck, really they scored 3 different ways in that middle frame. Forecheck started with Sagan, Radulov finishes it off. They just too much feist on the puck at the net front. That's good hustle. Peterson's been impressive in the game tonight on that line. Then on the power play, Jason Robertson, last year's rookie sensation, net front, takes one in the midsection. Then those sweet, subtle hands of his, waits, turns around, dusts it off to the backhand, tucks it home, tries to get his breath back. The third goal of the period is a transition goal. Petrovic with a great play, stout play at his own blue line, turns it up ice. Ben wafts in, he goes tweeners on Gibson, and the Stars have their first lead of the night. Big boys shining in the middle frame.
The man who has gotten so many sequences like that started in his Dallas career, he gets the latest started. The Stars, in more ways than one, have shown up tonight for their preseason home debut. Looking to close the show, 20 minutes to go in this one. We're underway in the third period. A note, at the end of this game, there's going to be a shootout no matter what. That's something the 2 teams have agreed on here in preseason. As it is iced by the Stars, so the faceoff will come down. And for an update, we go downstairs to Michelle McMahon.
Well, the most logical question was, what caused that offensive explosion? They agreed with you, Razor. They said they liked what they saw on the forecheck. Also had high praise for Jason Robertson, saying he's so difficult to defend because he's so slippery, and he's also really good at slowing the puck down when he gets it on a stick, guys.
Thanks, Michelle. Robertson just continues to impress and seemingly get better by the day. Raffle is in, his shot, and that one punched down off the glove of Gibson. A wind by Suter, didn't make it through traffic.
Like Gibson's wearing 2 blockers or something. That rocketed off there.
There is Suter again, a low shot. This time it was the lower body of Gibson denying it.
Been a busy boy tonight. He's played well. I'm sure he'd like to have another shot at Jamie Benn. Mano a mano. Looked like he ate. There's a fine line between guessing and anticipating. And there's a little guessing on that one.
How many times have we seen Ben pick that spot on an opposing goalie? As it's iced by Dallas once again.
Lines look good. Raffl, Gurionov, Jamie Benn. Wicked shot. They've been able to move the puck around, get chances from the middle of the ice. Gibson showing quick legs. That one handcuffed him on the glove hand side, although a lot of guys, it's more about protection than anything else. Make the save. Who cares if you fully control it? Other people's job.
You mentioned that line looking good. It was one of the big storylines heading into camp and then into this game tonight. What do you think about Ben at center? Because that's going to determine a lot of how this lineup shakes out.
He's going to play a little bit of wing again during the preseason. It's not like it's set in stone, but tough to argue with what we saw last year. And Jamie loves it. It keeps him in the game a little more. He's more involved rather than just simple stuff on the wing. And it gets him skating.
It was the last month of the season when they made that change. He finished with 17 points in 19 games in that slot. Here's a shot by Juleson just off the outside of the left post.
It's kind of a sloppy play in the star zone that went right through to Juleson, the defenseman. We've heard a couple of shots clank off iron.
Long stretch pass pulled the Panthers offside.
Let's Go has one of their 2 goals in the game here tonight. They were trying that bank pass speed transition play that everybody goes with now. Try to catch the other side, either not looking in the periphery or in behind them or on a change. He just got in ahead of the puck at the blue line, so because of that we come all the way back down and Stars have a chance off a face-off, and they've won a lot of draws tonight,
including that one. Shea shot, that one rode up on the defenseman in the slot, Juleson. Petrovic finds Kiviranta. His wrister blocked by Dalpe and deflected. The Stars celebrated an emphatic washout signal from the official saying no goal.
I think the light came on. Riley Tufte got hit with the first shot from Kiviranta, and then he stole the eyes of Gibson on that second opportunity. It either went in or didn't go in. Ref was right there, and he waved it off immediately.
Brian Puckmara is the official with the best view in the house, and despite the chorus of boos that followed, it was emphatically signaled by the referee. So we go on, and it's still 3-2 Dallas.
We are very reactionary to a red light.
It's a little Pavlovian. Cole Schwinn behind the net. The pair of Suter and Klingberg out there for the Stars. It was showcased quite a bit, 16 minutes for each through the first 40. They're on their end of the ice right now as the Panthers control. Lomberg chipped the backhand well off target. Kierstead watches it ride the dasher boards and then sent back around. Ryan Lomberg, who made an impression last year in Florida, led him in penalty minutes. Now it's Lamico, and Ottinger spotted it the entire way into his glove.
He's a feisty, full throttle little guy. Lomberg, Tufte in front of the net. Off him, off the pipe, off the other pipe, the double doink.
You understand the reaction now.
Yes. Shot went off a Panther up top, I think off the shin pad of Tufte in front. And he didn't help matters either, Riley, as he took off with his arms in the air. He saw it go in behind Gibson, thinking that's got to be in.
He didn't even wait for the second pipe.
No,
it was
force field.
One bar and arms go up. Here's Alexander Radulov. He was a little shy of the red line as he let it in. Play goes on.
Preseason for the linesman too, God.
They know the shootout's coming. So this game is already going past regulation. Here is Denisenko. He gets shouldered and then over the reach of Juleson. Radulov, Peterson, right back to Radulov. Too many white sweaters there as he spun at the point. 3-on-3, it's Denisenko to tip it. Owen Tippett protecting behind the net on the backhand. And a good reach by Harley. Took it off his stick. And towards the blue line, held in by Tippett, reestablished.
See that play by Alexander Radulov. There are times to try to make a play, and there are times to just get it in deeper and not spit it up just inside the attack blue line. A little more firepower on the other side, and that'd be a dangerous opportunity going the other way as you chase back to your net. You don't want to do that.
A rifled pass turns into icing against Florida.
Chance again to run something off of a face-off here. Again, some of this stuff is just game situational. That you got to play games to get your game situational swerve going again. Johnston's been good on draws. See if he can win another one. He's a righty.
He will take it against Losterinen. He's got Petrovic and Shea behind him. He wins this one back. Got to Shea. Not untouched, so he plays it down the wall. Turns it to a scrum. Robertson, as he does so many times, winds up with the puck. Shea, a wrist shot, scooped. Gibson right into the glove.
You know, they get most of control off that face-off win, and then Robertson's ability to just dangle, create some space, and a chance at the net. He's got some soft hand. Look, he's in trouble. Where you go. Hooks it over to Shea, the defenseman. They have traffic heading to the front of the net. Scooping a save for Gibson.
Robertson's got it again. Cut and a shot off of the glove of Gibson and then trickled wide.
Got deflected on its way in and full handcuff for the Panther netminder.
Anytime a rookie has a season like Robertson does, like any successful rookie, you hear sophomore slumps come into an area of concern. When you're Robertson and you've displayed a hockey IQ, the ability to make the kinds of plays he does that make you, as 2-on-1, we'll get back to that, Johnston with his shot, saved by Gibson. Does that make you maybe a little bit better equipped to deal with year two when you can play like he does?
Well, that and the other thing that he has that I love is athletic arrogance. Like, he believes he's a good player, and he's proved that he's a good player in the best league on earth. And he understands it's not just going to happen. He doesn't want to stay stagnant. Doesn't feel like that's the best he has to bring to the table. So I'd be surprised if he struggled in his sophomore year.
Yeah. It was great. He was asked about his skating. That was the knock on him coming out of juniors. He was asked about it in training camp, if he had worked on it at all, and he just flashed a smile and said, I don't think it slowed me down too much last year, as it's punched out of play by Ottinger.
He has loose puck speed and great hands and a great head.
13:39 left in the third period. Stars have a 1-goal lead at home against the Panthers.
Round draft pick from the summer, Wyatt Johnston. He has looked great tonight. I mean, he turned around Nudavara, who's an NHL defenseman, and a tough save for Gibson against the grain. It was amazing. Talking with him this morning, I was like, how was last year for you? I mean, he played 7 games. The games that he played were played here. Yeah. The U18 tournament, playing for Canada. And the Stars hosted that. But he played 7 games. Played with a few other guys in Ontario, OHLers, you know, just trying to keep their legs in that. But the Ontario Hockey League did not play last year in junior hockey because of COVID.
The Stars took him 23rd overall. That was one of the storylines. Hard to draft a kid where you don't get a book on him their draft eligible year. And what we've seen in our first look, it has been impressive.
Yeah, and give scouts some credit. They followed these kids along prior to their draft year and saw some stuff in him. And then obviously had a great showing with Canada here in town. What better than have them come to you? You don't have to go to them.
It was very well scouted by the Stars.
It was a weird year, though, for drafting and for scouting, because some guys just didn't play. Western Hockey League played a little bit. college, Europe.
It was literally worldwide, everywhere you look.
I think there were a few more darts thrown at a board this year than most seasons at the draft.
I don't know if they'll ever admit it. It'll be fun 10 years down the road to look back at this one, compare it to all the others. Here's Connaughton. He's back inside his own zone. Chip from center. The defenseman hustles after it. Thomas Harley. Now Connaughton walks it to the slot. Harley won't give him a lane, and Connaughton had to use the perimeter.
He had options with a couple of teammates coming off their bench late.
Eponiemi nearby with Connaughton. He's got it once more. A shot deflected up, and Ottinger snags it and hangs on.
Couldn't give that up. Radulov got twisted around just inside the blue line. They're up top. You know, it's a difficult play when they get three up top, but ugh. And Ottinger to the rescue with a bunch of bodies right on his doorstep. And the Jugalack, nice concentration. And they'll start from his left.
He stares there. Tippett on the face-off with Johnston. Stars controlled it. Now Joe Pavelski. Andre Sekera. Same two teams will meet again on Friday. A scenery shift to sunrise. And the Stars will make their way to El Paso on Sunday. Take on the Arizona Coyotes. The Kraft Hockeyville neutral site game. It's 3 at home, 3 on the road. The one in El Paso makes it 7 for Dallas. And a 5-day break before they open up the bright lights of Manhattan at Madison Square Garden 2 weeks from tomorrow.
The revamped Ranger team
certainly had some talking points in their offseason. Nudavara has a cutter. Losterinen lost it. There was a chance aimed tight for Tippett, and he put it off the outside of the frame. There was space to shoot behind Ottinger.
Well, there have been some coachable moments in the Star zone here in the third period.
Robertson clears. After a preseason game, you talk about all the situations. What are the coaches looking at when a coaching staff tries to break down a preseason game? Are they breaking down team systems? Is it more individuals? How do they go about it?
I think there's a certain system, you know, your team systems that would like to see show up, but a lot of it is just about chemistry. Chemistry between your usual guys. There are pairs all over the place, right? Up front, see the chemistry in a game between Klingberg and Suter, those types of things. Because the game gets scrambling.
Yeah, and we have seen that. Latest penalty is called here against Florida.
Florida, number 18, for interference.
Sarah Noel for interference. There should have been a penalty earlier. Pavelski, I think it might have been Mason Marchment that got his stick up on him, but Pavelski's skating through the middle. Yeah, he got raked right on the face at the Stars blue line. And they didn't find that one. The interference to Landria with good hustle to create that opportunity. And that's one thing I think everybody is going to harp on for the Stars. Yes, they should have a wicked power play. Yes, they should have 2 units, but you got to get on it. And that's how you get on it. Hustle, drive.
They win the face-off, third power play of the night for Dallas. They're 1 for 2. Robertson has the power play goal. It's the other unit that's out there right now. Klingberg has to chase back. Pressured, and he gets away from Dalpe. Halfway up the ice went the pass for Radulov. Now Peterson back for Radulov to Klingberg. He'll walk it in. Radulov in front off the stick of Sagan. He was tied up by Kirsten.
Good defensive play by the kid.
Klingberg to Sagan. One time off the stick of Connaughton, sent it wide. It also broke his stick. So 5 on 3.5. Connaughton without Lumber. Here's Radulov. Sagan. Connaughton's got the stick from the forward Dalpe. Stars still have possession. Tyler Sagan tried to go rink wide. Heponiemi knocked it down, couldn't possess. Klingberg top of the zone, delays. And then to the right for Gurionov, and a shot went wide. Klingberg took advantage of Dalpe without the equipment. Sagan. Left face-off dot. High for Klingberg to the right. Gurianov, one-time save by Gibson. Radulov hustles. We got some tired penalty killers out there for Florida. Chance to clear. Panthers do off Klingberg and out.
Always think that there's an opportunity to use the width of the rink more when you have a forward that doesn't have a stick. And they tried it with a couple of saucer passes. They went saucy there for a little bit, but really couldn't connect with anything. And now the Panthers are back to a full complement of 4 guys with sticks.
15 seconds away from a full complement of 5 players. Stars late seconds on the power play. Looking to add to their 1-goal lead. It's Pavelski. Triangle passing to set up Johnston. Slow-moving puck didn't arrive in time.
Yeah, I think Robertson fanned on that one-timer feed to the net front. Right idea.
Back in. Johnston. 5-on-5 hockey as Noel is free. Stars 1 for 3 on the power play. Sekera stole it. Kept his own momentarily. Now it's Marchment the other way.
Tried the same move on Nudavara one-on-one there. The veteran defense is like, no, not twice in a row.
Hutsko, part of a 5-man battle against the wall. Kierstead wins the race to the far side. Hutsko with it. He went down, contact with Sekera. Panthers still control. Nice slip pass and a save made Onger on the chance for Bolby, who came streaking down the slot.
He came off their bench. Dangerous guy always. Everyone's looking at the puck and at responsibilities. Where did he come from?
Standing up, Onger makes the save, stays with it as it falls. Some good looks, some good chances for Florida. Onger and company close the fort. 3-2. Stars have the lead. Getting late. Preseason game number 2.
Stars clinging to a 3-2 lead over the Florida Panthers. Some of the new Dallas Stars are on display here tonight. A bunch of them added to the mix in the summer. Ryan Suter's playing tonight. Michael Raffel playing tonight. Luke Glendenny, who had a wonderful offensive season against the Stars for Detroit last year. A terrific defensive forward. Braden Holtby. And Hakanpää, who unfortunately broke his pinky in the game on Monday night. Big strapping Finn defenseman. So 2 added defensemen. Holtby an added netminder to an already stout defensive group.
Gotta get some facial hair on Ryan Suter for one of those photos. That's
a bearded bunch.
A lot of beard that came to Texas. They're excited about what they got. Hakanpää, you mentioned the other night. It's just that first game. Love to get a few more in. They hoped it wouldn't derail his plans to be in the opening night roster.
Yeah, you think he, along with Sekera, would comprise their 3rd pair on defense. Holtby edged out Ben Bishop for the Vezina back in the day. Wonderful run in a Stanley Cup with the Washington Capitals. He ushered the kid Thatcher Demko around in Vancouver last year. He's just such a quality human being, along with a terrific netminder.
Think about Jake Ottinger being 22 years old. He referred to himself as a kid in a candy store when he got to come here and look at Ben Bishop up close, learn from him. And then Braden Holtby comes, and he said it was the exact same feeling, to just soak up as much as you can. Now they're sharing a locker room, shared the game the other night.
Yeah, the goaltending situation, it's like Goalieville here. Everyone had fun when the Stars signed Holtby in the summer. It's like, well, how many goaltenders do you want, Dallas? You can't play them all. It's 4 into 2 at some point. You know, whether Ben Bishop's knee can respond and he can play again, whether Ottinger's ready for more, Khudobin can bounce back. Holtby behind this excellent Dallas defense can return to his elite form. Like, they have depth at the position, I'll say that.
No truth to the rumor you were going to break out the pads and make it 5?
Oh my God, they want to be good.
Brisky, a shot. That's another bar. Been a few of them as Radulov looked like he went on his side like the FIFA celebration, and Oettinger wound up making the save.
What is that? Control Alt left or whatever?
The dead fish.
They lose the face-off, and then it was I think it rattled off maybe a couple of players, and then Radulov, that's not how you do it. A for effort, but that came close to tying the score.
This is a closer hockey game than the Stars would like right now. Dalpe with a shot goes wide. And another one is the Panthers are starting to get more and more of the looks. Even when they were leading this game at 1-0, 2-0, it still felt like it was much more Dallas in control and possession. The shots, the chances, and not as much here in the third period.
Well, that was back-to-back faceoffs in the Stars zone, where after the draw was won by the Panthers, the Stars did not fill very many lanes. They were spread out. There was a lot of ice for the Florida team to dictate things offensively.
Thomas Harley trying to tilt the ice. The defenseman was in deep. Over to Shea. Now low, Sagan. Pressed up by Connaughton. Pavelski goes low. Connaughton intercepts before Sagan. Rattles off the stick, near side. Hutsko. Hutsko had that goal. That one had to feel a little good for him, too, against Jake Ottinger. He's coming off a 4-year career at Boston College. 2 of those years overlapped with when Ottinger was at BU. They had their run-ins at the NCAA level, and here, NHL preseason action.
Had a lot of injury problems at college, and still managed to put up some pretty impressive offensive numbers.
Here is Juho Lammikko. Low, Klingberg. Turned over by Dallas. Prisky, center of the zone, Kierstead. Lomberg sent it wide. Final 5 minutes here in the third. Ottinger another save as it came through traffic off his chest. Lomberg. Panthers in the midst of a change. The Stars are completing one of their own.
What happens, though, the Stars had that gorgeous opportunity with the power play, and the Panthers in trouble with a player without a stick. They can't convert, and now they're hanging on.
Right to the net went Grigory Denisenko. Got a piece of it, but was in too deep, sent it wide.
They're not eliminating anybody or anything right now.
Panthers in search of an equalizer, skating downhill right now. Sekera racing after it. Tippin tried to jump the route. Stars able to clear.
But it's basically that. Get it out. Get a change in. They're trying to stay fresh as they milk this 1-goal lead.
Icing here on an errant pass from Florida.
Well, that'll at least alleviate this pressure for the moment anyway, as the shots on goal have tightened up a little bit. You look at the game, Florida came out and played a terrific first period. The Stars had chances, but didn't get anything out of it. And then in the second period, after the Stars went down 2-0, they dominated play. Here in the third period, the Panthers have been scrappy. They pushed back, they've had opportunities, they've come close.
The Panthers win the defensive zone face-off. Tippett carries it to center, he'll chip it in. Petrovic back to grab. Pushed it away from Losterinen. Here's Michael Raffl. Archman picked his pocket. Now Petrovic. Archman looked like he had read the drop pass from Petrovic, but he put it into the corner just enough to find Shea. Saren Noel creates the latest turnover for the Panthers. Now Connaughton. Under 3.5 to go. The long stretch pass stretched a little too far as Marchment was offside.
Well, gives us an opportunity to run through the offense in the game here tonight. Panthers opened the scoring on the power play. Ben was in the box. They got away with a little pick on Delandria, and then a shot by Tippett went off Marchment. The only goal scoring of the opening frame. They went up 2-0 in the second. From a face-off in their own zone, they were able to spring the diminutive Hutsko, who found enough air around Ottinger to make it 2-0, and then the Stars storm. Big boys showed up on the forecheck. Sagan started it. Radulov finished it off. Stars were on the board. About a half a dozen minutes after that, Stars on the power play. Robertson left alone in front of the net. spun around, tucked a backhand home to tie it. And before the period was done, about a minute and change after that, great defensive play, physical defensive play by Petrovic. Turned it up ice to Jamie Benn. He did the rest, and right now, that's the difference in the game. Seems weird to look back and think that that's the difference in the game right now with all that's gone on, and Michelle McMahon is downstairs with more on the Stars captain.
Razor, yeah, you know better than anyone. There are a few guys in the locker room right now more excited about how the team is gelling together than the captain, Jamie Benn. He told me, we already liked our core going into this season, but the new faces that were added are such a good add. The veteran presence is already making a huge impact with these young players. And he also told me that this is they had some battles in the corner, lots of experience with these guys on the other side of the ice. He's just happy to have them on their side of the team, guys.
Yeah, there's a sense that they have a pretty, or at least the makings of a pretty special group here, if all things click. Now, you know, you can't just toss it out there and make it happen. But my hope this year is that they climb up from that 15, 16, 17 spot in the overall standings, and they find better balance again between their offensive game and their defensive game. Because last year, I mean, it was bizarre at times how good they would be in one area and they'd struggle in another. They were a terrific defensive team, but they couldn't kill a penalty. They were a wonderful power play, but they couldn't score 5 on 5.
Rick Bowness this morning, he had his choice of where he wanted to take things. He was just asked about this team, and he chose to focus on the character, the culture that they had been working on creating a while. One of the storylines, and getting everybody healthy as we've documented. Looking forward to seeing it play out over 6 months as it all comes together. There's work to do in this one as Prisky is up at the line, under 3 minutes to play. Sagan blocked his shot, broke his stick. Now Peterson tried to drag his way through Losterinen. They jam in the corner, off to Radulov, uses the frame, held by Connaughton, and there's Peterson to clean it up and clear. Will turn into icing against Dallas.
You want more of what we just saw, though, and that is support defensively in your own zone. And for little spurts in this third period, that hasn't been there for Rick Bowness's crew, and it's allowed the Panthers to enjoy some time and space. They're going to pull their goalie here with 2:21 to go. Extra attacker on.
So we'll see after the icing, the 6 on 5. It's Klingberg. Denisenko took it away. Juleson. Shot goes wide. Tippett set up. Up high to Juleson. To the left, Kirsten. Denisenko, he's in the corner. Surveying his options. Chooses upstairs, Kirsten. Cross to Juleson. Back for Denisenko. And he fanned on the shot from the outer hash marks. Got it low for Dalby. And good work by the Panthers to settle down. Tip it back around. Denisenko took an awkward route to the puck. That allowed Radulov to get there and didn't quite have the carom from 130 feet away. It's icing.
So the Stars were holding their ice. It's a smart move. I mean, Joe Quenneville has taken 20 teams in his 24-year career behind the bench to the playoffs. You have a team out there on an icing. They can't change. You've got some of the questionable defensive players perhaps in their eyes out there. Pull your goaltender, put your extra attacker out there, see if you can get equalized here.
Prisky at the point. He goes low. Marchment for Hutsko. Right hash for Marchment. He went after the stick of Suter to buy himself some time. Panthers still have the extra man in the empty net as the seconds evaporate. Under a $1:15 to go in regulation. Stars 3, Panthers 2. Dallas ahead. Peterson, Radulov just forces it out to center. Dallas can get some fresh legs. 2 guys got off the ice. Prisky's back in the closing minute. Prisky, Noel, Hutsko sent it, reached by Nudavara. And Losterinen shot stopped, rebound, net mount, scramble, score! Saren Noel. He found the loose puck on the backhand and got it through Ottinger for the game-tying goal with 42 seconds left.
Well, there was some exhaustion on or in some of the Dallas Stars' legs, and once they worked it to the front of the net, it's a mad scramble. Robertson, who was one of the fresher guys, he came on in that change, couldn't get underneath the stick, got outmaneuvered by the big power forward in Noel, and they were able to chunk it through to knot the game at 3. So the question was there going to be overtime in between the regulation and the shootout tonight? And it appears there's going to be.
Should have known. 8 times these teams met last year with the condensed schedule, division only. A lot of close games mixed in there. 3 of them needed overtime. Florida wound up winning every single one of them.
Yeah, well, they were the polar opposite of the Stars past 60 minutes last year. They won just about everything. The Stars really struggled in that part of the pick up the second point of the game.
Final seconds, Panthers are in a shot. Save made Ottinger. Juleson sends it upstairs, a chance for Lomberg, and a drive is saved by Ottinger right as the horn sounds.
I think there was going to be time left and they just let it run out. They're going to overtime anyway. Well, credit the Florida Panthers. They were game. After that power play wasn't converted by the Stars, the game changed in their favor, and they paid it off with a special teams goal themselves, 6-on-5, to get it to OT.
Stars went to overtime on Monday in their first preseason game. They head to overtime tonight in game number 2. Sarah Noel's late tally the reason why. We're back with 3-on-3 next.
3-on-3 in overtime, and we know even if somebody scores in overtime, we're still going to see a shootout. You pay for a ticket, we're going to pay it off for you. You watch on television, you listen on radio, you're going to get the full complement. What the preseason's all about. Stars worked on 3-on-3 a little bit the other day, and they'll start with the guns. Ben, Gurionov, and Klingberg. Some of those that squired their overtime in Florida last year are not available tonight. Let's just put it that way. There's no Barkov down there.
Lostarinen, Marchment, Nudavara, the trio for the Panthers. 3-3 after 3, and 3-on-3 begins. Nudavara controlling. You know all about the ghost from last year. 14 post-regulation losses for the Stars. It's an area of emphasis here in this 2021-22 season. A chance to avenge Monday's loss in St. Louis with a much different looking lineup. Klingberg to Gurionov. He'll dart his way down the right side. So much open ice and an awful lot of talent out there in green. It's Ben for Klingberg. He lost it, and it's Marchment the other way. Klingberg racing back, trying to make it a 2-on-2. Marchment passes behind Lostarinen, and now the Stars with numbers. Ben leads the charge, 3-on-1. Ben, Gurionov, he fans. And now the Panthers will slow things down. They've got a 2-on-1, and they will headman it too far.
The greatest thing in 3-on-3 overtime is a team trying something first. Because once a team tries something offensively, there's going to be a chance going the other way if they don't score. Then there'll be a chance going the other way if they don't score.
Tyler Seguin is in. Couldn't dance his way to the inside. That was 3 straight odd man rushes without a shot on goal.
Preseason.
Prisky, as we've played nearly a minute and a half of the 5-minute overtime. If no one scores, we will go to a shootout. If someone scores, we'll go to a shootout. Eponiemi, chased by Radulov. Doesn't want to let him free. In walks Tippett. Right circle. Out of midair, and Ottinger made the save. What skill by Eponiemi, and what a stop by Ottinger to stay with it.
That's unreal. He got a lot on that whack bunt, and Ottinger just collapsed his wings upon himself to make the stop. Sweet little feed, whack against the grain, and Ottinger equipment to the rescue. What a great look.
Kierstead controls off the draw for Zach Dalpe. He didn't like the look. He'll carry to center. Reset for Florida. Here's Kierstead. He's back in for the Panthers. Pavelski, Robertson, and Thomas Harley, the trio for Dallas. But they're inside their own zone. Here's Noel. At the game-tying goal, last minute of regulation. A shot trying to win it. Andre with a save, intelligently drops it so the Stars can control it.
3-on-3 overtime is made for the Thomas Harleys of the world.
Here he is with the outlet for Robertson. He's got Pavelski in front, fed there in a redirection, and Gibson denied it.
Spiffy.
Looked like Harley was gonna head off. The puck came back to him, so he'll delay while the forwards change. He'll likely hand off and then get to the bench. Klingberg is awaiting with the door open to hop on the ice when he gets there. Jamie Benn. Pass for Peterson. Here comes Klingberg joining as well. In front, a pass broken up, Denisenko. And now Klingberg's the defenseman on the rush back as Denisenko brings in front, looking for Bolby. And got off a stick and out of play. 2:01 left.
A great hustle by Jamie Benn to get back and thwart that chance for the Panthers. The headman pass by Harley ahead. I mean, it's just a nexus of passes. Harley, Robertson, Pavelski, great stop by Gibson. There's the hustle of Ben getting back to the net front. He had a good game tonight. Scored a goal, took a penalty, saved a goal there.
It's a full night.
Won some draws.
Sagan, Radulov, Suter against Marchment, Hutsko, and Nudavara. Here's Radulov. Pass off the skates of Sagan. He'll stay with, turn back near the blue line. Keep it in the zone. Skating work on Nudavara, leaves on the wall. Radulov calmly back out between the blue lines. 100 seconds left in overtime. Long pass, Radulov will try to get to it. Nudavara made up the ground, a nice play. Radulov steals it back, and then Hutsko comes away with it. He'll charge ahead, turn on the speed, cut the shot. What a save off the stick of Ottinger. Numbers for Dallas. Radulov with Sagan. Radulov to Sagan. It was bouncing, and he couldn't get a clean shot away.
Going to be a tough execution. One-timer for Sagan.
Now back the other way. Here's Prisky with a shot. That goes wide. There's a penalty upcoming against the Stars. Are they getting them for too many men?
Yeah, it looked like they jumped it. They had too many guys. What a stop by Ottinger. I think it was the skinny part of his goal stick above the blocker that made the stop. Yeah, you can see how it turned his stick against him. It was ripped. Toe drag up over the blocker, and that skinny part that just breaks the heart of every shooter turns it back against the grain. They don't play 3 against 2 in overtime, although they might tonight. They're throwing everything at us. It'll be 4 on 3 for a minute.
Well, linesman Derek Nansen made the call. He still held up 6 fingers for too many men, even though it was only the 4th skater.
Yeah, it's preseason for those guys.
Stars got caught with. Everyone knew what he meant. Cleared all the way down. So now the Stars are playing for the shootout, even though we're going to get there either way. Second power play for Florida. They have a power play goal in the game. It's a 4-on-3. Sekera behind the cage. Now Owen Tippett. Spread out. Man advantage Panthers. Denisenko, top of the circle. Short game of catch. Swung to the right. Wrist shot up high. Tippett got a lot on it, but he didn't have it calibrated correctly. It's out of play.
You watch Owen Tippett come around the outside, kind of semi get lost, and then come around the backside. He's up top. He's out in neutral ice. He comes back around, waiting for it, gets it on the forehand, tries to use Sekera, the defenseman, as a screen, and just missed the mark.
Key face-off win for Raffl. Sekera leaves for Petrovic. He'll clear it around and all the way down. 20 seconds left in overtime. It's a 4-on-3 with the Panthers on the power play. Last rush for them. Eponiemi. Petrovic will clear. That might just about take care of it. Tippett. He's got to work quickly. A look at the clock. He'll get to center, fake a shot, then let it go. Save at the buzzer, 3-3 after overtime. So now my question is, are we going to go to a shootout after this shootout?
Self-fulfilling prophecy tonight, don't you think? They had a shootout plan, so they played to the shootout plan. And that's where we're headed now.
You got to finish this game, and then wouldn't that be something? Go bring out the doubleheader shootout. I don't think we're going to get there. Fans want to remind you that Texas hockey returns with the Dallas Stars season opener. The Stars hit the road and face off against the New York Rangers. You can watch it Thursday, October 14th on Bally Sports Southwest and streaming on the Bally Sports app. Start of a 4-game road trip to open up the year, and the Stars are going to hit the ground running. They are going to get a look here at the skills competition for the first time in their exhibition season.
This is another area where young Jake Ottinger is going to get better and better as he gets more experience. He had that weird win-loss, overtime loss line last year where it was basically the same in every column. And he'd get him, you know, he'd play great and he'd get into overtime and then lose in overtime, or finally get it through overtime into a shootout and lose in the shootout. Sometimes I think he's a little too regimented and robotic in this. Sometimes you got to just move around and make a stop. Easy and make up from 300 feet away.
Stars were 2-6 in shootouts last year. It will be Jason Robertson, the first shooter, against Christopher Gibson.
I love this too. He's got no problem leading it off. You know what I mean?
He was one of the guys that was very strong, and he's got that confidence you talked about from day one. He's shooter one. The lefty on Gibson. Backhand, and what a glove save by Christopher Gibson.
He was waiting on that. I thought we were going to see that big sweep move to the forehand. He'd go over the pad and under the blocker. Instead, he tried to go backhand. Sometimes these goalies carry that glove so high it doesn't move down as quick as they want. It did there. Great save.
He had the body moving one way, but the glove stayed where it needed to. Tippett, the first shooter against Ottinger. Tippett, saved by Ottinger.
Good patience. Again, everybody, you know, not everybody, but the good goal scorers try to hit that spot over the pad under the blocker because the stick gets involved and it creates a hole there. And it was the stick of Ottinger that thwarted Tippett.
How many times did the Stars wish they could send Tyler Seguin out in the shootout last year? He's the second shooter. Right down the seam, slowed up, tested Gibson, and he turned it aside with the right pad.
Well, he's second all time for Dallas Stars in behind Ribeiro with 17 shootout goals. Slowed down. He usually likes to go 5-hole on that one, does he not? He tried the blocker side. It's not available.
Yeah. Cole Schwinn. He'll bring it right on Ottinger to the right wing side. Backhand, and Ottinger stayed with him. Blocker in the way.
Yeah, that's nice patience. That's nice marrying your momentum as a netminder with the momentum of the forward. You get standing still. They can go around the netminder. This time, eyes on it, full spread, used his length and size.
Radulov got the goal scoring started for Dallas in the game. Here in the shootout, trying to do the same, and he could not find the hole on Gibson, who stays perfect.
Goalies have been great. Gibson's a Finn. He was born in Finland. Fantastic soccer player growing up. Dropped down, made the stop on Radulov, who was the goal scorer when young Ottinger did win a shootout in Columbus last year in one of Rad's 11 games.
Sarah Noel trying to add the game winner to his game-tying goal. He's in, and he scores! It snuck through Ottinger, who got a piece, but not all of it. And Noel becomes the only scorer of the 6 to go in the skills competition, and the Panthers get the victory.
Well, Noel this time was able to outweight the netminder, and Ottinger's guarding against a high glove. Watch him show the stick blade. Puck rolled a little bit, goes tweeners, finds that area in between the pads. Man, all 3 goals, like 3 of the 4 have squeaked through Ottinger in the game here tonight, including that one in the shootout. And Gibson goes the full way and gets the win, and poor Jake Ottinger gets another loss past 60 minutes.
The Stars' record moves to 0-2 in preseason. Thanks so much for joining us. The first of many as the Stars return to Dallas. For Daryl Ray, Michelle McMahon, our terrific crew, I'm Josh Bogorod. 4-3 Panthers win it in a shootout. Post-game show is coming up next.